So you had all these meetings. You mentioned the word silo earlier. So these are specific groups of people.
Right.
How do you break out of that to where, because I feel like that is the ultimate direction. That's where the long game,
Absolutely,
to
right.
borrow your third point,
Sure.
that's where the long game is going.
Absolutely.
So how do you, where do you go from these group meetings that have these parameters to where those aren't there?
I love it. That's exactly where we're headed. Even though I said we're really siloed, I invited the silos in, right?
Right, yeah.
But because the goal is going to be, we're going to have another day just like this.
Mhm.
And so the folks who, I'm working on getting that on the calendar now, that's not on there yet, but it'll be within the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Mhm.
And then the people who were here, either they come back or they and bring someone with them, or they can't come back, but they send someone in their place. And then the other people who saw the nice story that the news did, who will see us here having
Right.
a conversation.
Right.
Oh, that already happened? Because that's one of the difficulties whenever you're trying to get something going, right?
Right.
But so we're gonna have another day just like that, but that's certainly not the end goal. What we're going to do is, Edie, I'm a simple man. And we're gonna go into all 4 wards, because we got 4 wards in our city.
Mhm.
And we're gonna go Ward 1, week 1, Ward 2, week 2, Ward 3, week 3, Ward 4, week 4. Because so many people may not feel included or invited if we say, hey, we're gonna be at this place, come if you can. So I'm gonna have these town hall meetings
Mhm.
at the wards. And because there are going to be some folks who say, yeah, I might be interested in this, but they've got something that's been bothering them and they really haven't had a place or someone, a project coordinator to direct it at or something like that.
Mhm.
So we'll have those conversations and I'll give people an opportunity to say what they would like to say, what they need to say. And then we're always going to come back to point number 2 of the powerful principles. That's important, but let's focus on what matters most.
Mhm.
And is this the most important thing that we're going to talk about? And the answer is probably not.
Mhm.
I've got lots of preferences. I'm sure you do too. And I'm not mad at preferences. We should have them. So it's not a matter of, is your preference valid? It's okay, this is important. Is it the most important?
Mhm.
That's what we're going to focus on.
Mhm.
So and of course we've got, this is the end of Q3. We're about to head into holiday season. Lots of pumpkin stuff is up, right? So
Yes.
in those weekly meetings, we're going to have, of course, we're going to have the holidays in there.
Mhm.
So it's not a deadline to say by April the 4th, we'll have had 4 meetings in every ward and all this sort of stuff.
Check. Yeah.
But here's what I think is going to happen. When we go to the ward meetings, I think some people will feel like, okay, well, this is what you're supposed to do. You said you want to involve everyone, so you're here, way to go.
Mhm.
And then when we come back the second meeting, I think they'll be like, oh, you did more than you said.
Yeah,
Blow clap,
right,
eye roll.
Yeah.
I've seen this before.
Right.
Then when we come back the third time, I think there'll be some of this.
Mhm.
Why are you back again?
Mhm.
And it might take even the 4th time for someone to say, okay, so you really do, for them to really feel seen and valued.
Mhm.
And that's one of the reasons we're going to do that. And then, the ultimate goal when we're getting feedback, we're going to, kind of like the strategy shift, a version of that we did in leadership,
Right.
where we're putting some stuff on boards and sticky notes and answering questions and all those things. But ultimately, I want to have quarterly, not siloed, quarterly community conversations, gatherings with lots of food and fun and families and whatever.
Mhm.
And I want Ward 1 to host one of those. I want Ward 2, Ward 3. I want everybody to have a home game, right?
Mhm.
Because we've had some amazing events like that here, like the Loved Ones Barbecue a couple
Right.
years back.
Right.
It was an
Yes.
amazing
Yes,
thing.
it was, yeah.
And there are so many people who do so much good, but in the absence of encouragement, it feels like you're doing it in a vacuum. And
Yeah.
it feels like you're just constantly doing good and people are not responding. In fact, they're competing because we don't have a nonprofit that does this thing the way that I think it should be done.